All right, hello guys. Today I'm going to be doing a tropical update live stream. Sorry for the little brief quiet part there where it was not doing anything. Should be working now. It was kind of just sitting there doing nothing for a second, so should be doing just fine now. So we're going to go ahead and be discussing the potential tropical cyclone 6 that is right off the coast of Africa here. I'm not going to be saying these islands' names because I always forget it, and I didn't, I should have looked at them again, look at the name so that I could try to remember it, but I always forget it or say it wrong, one or the other. Before we get started, if anybody wanted to ask anything or say anything, now would be the time, because I will probably not be checking the comments as much later in the video while I'm trying to do a little bit of an intro here. So if you have anything to say, I'm all ears, or any questions. Video ideas would also be nice if you guys have any interests there. I'm thinking about doing a series for 18-wheeler truckers, or any sort of truckers that is, across the United States, where every night for the next day I will make a map of weather hazards and do a quick video on things that could affect that. So that could be a daily thing that I'm doing. Also, I want to start doing weekly videos, kind of like my monthly or seasonal forecast, except just for a week, just for the week. And we'll probably do like a, temperatures compared to normal for that week, and also go day by day on things that could happen. And that'll probably be on Saturdays or Sundays. I'd be interested to see what you guys think about that idea. If you have any suggestions for what I do with that series, that'd be sweet too, because I kind of have a little bit, only a little bit of idea of what I want to do there. Can you explain El Nino? Yeah. Let's see here. Let me set this down. My computer's really loud, so I wanted the mic kind of far away from it, but I'll have to set it down for a second. So I would need a little bit more. You need to elaborate on that question a little bit. Do you want to know the effects of El Nino, or do you want to know what causes it? That would help me a lot. Hello, Michael Mefford. I hope I said that right. Sorry to these people. They were just kind of sitting in the stream waiting. I actually thought it was going when it was just sitting there doing nothing. I thought the stream was going on, but Okay. So here's our visible satellite imagery here. You see there is some spin, and we're getting a lot of, thunder showers and thunderstorms and all sorts of stuff starting to pop up. And the clouds are getting a little bit thicker in here. You can see as of like the last 2 hours, probably really starting to fill in there. That's a really good sign for development. Effects. Okay. Now, in the summertime or tropical season, because I'm assuming that's what you're asking, it typically would lead to less tropical storms than average. We're not quite in an El Nino yet, but we're on kind of leaning towards the sign of El Nino, if that makes sense, because there's La Nina and El Nino, and you're on one or the other. Completely average temperatures would be a La Nada. We're towards the side of El Nino. I think we're about 0.3 degrees above average, which is like 0.2 degrees away from being an El Nino. So we're getting kind of El Nino effects. So like I said, a La Nina would really cause a lot of tropical storms typically, or a La Nada, but El Nino would be the opposite, not as much. Okay, so here's the cone that NOAA put out. I'm only doing 3-day because it's kind of not as reliable past this point, but it is leaning towards going north from this point on, just in case you're wondering. But we'll keep it at 3 days just because it's more reliable in that range, obviously. So again, visible satellite for viewers that are just getting here is filling in, looking very good here. probably to become a tropical storm. I like the odds. I think that we're going to develop into a tropical storm. Now, here is the model guidance on where they think that it will go. You can see it gets to about, we'll call it like 38 west, and then it starts to turn north. And the reason for that is there's a really strong high pressure system right here that will be trying to pull it north. You can see there's also winds that go south, but really it's going to go north. No, I think that's the monsoonal jet stream there. So that's really what this is. But it's most likely going to go this way. And that's typically what happens when you have a high pressure system right above where a system is. It'll most likely pull it in just because of the winds. You can also see that we have a little bit of a low pressure system right here that will also encourage it to probably go this way. So a lot of signs pointing towards that. This is El Nino in the winter, meaning a lot of rain in the south. Yeah, I think I definitely think that it does lead to, I would say, precipitation. A lot of there'll be a lot of southern sliders in an El Nino type situation or weak El Nino type situation. Strong El Nino would kind of just be like rain for sure in the southeast and then just warm everywhere pretty much. But definitely in a weak El Nino, you would be looking at a lot of rain in the very south and then mixed storms towards the north, a lot of ice storms possibly. Yeah, we'll look at that in a second, Michael. The ridge is the beast. Let's hope it breaks before the heart of the hurricane season. Yeah, I saw a tweet. Here, I can get to it. A little bit ago. Actually, can I? I don't know. But we will look real quick. There's definitely a big ridge in the eastern United States. If we look here, that is trying to hang on. And you can see it builds right here through the 10th, which is really bad because that's the peak and doesn't look to leave anytime soon. Again, my September forecast would have ridging in the east, so it does look to, according to me, it does like to stay rather than troughing in the east. We could look at this ridge to stay for quite a while and not really, it should be persistent through most of the month, like I said in my September forecast. If you haven't seen that, you should check it out. It's really cool. I think so, at least. But yeah, we have this ridge in the east, which isn't looking too good. And then we will look at, oh, here we go. I'll also take a look at the GEFS members here that who was asking, that Michael was mentioning. So this is a ensemble model, which means that it has lots of different models and lots of different members is what they're called. And really, it's just going to take the mean from whatever the mean average of whatever it's saying. Always so hard to navigate this website, but it has so much information. Oh, here it is, right? No, I had it earlier, like somewhere. Totally had it. Man, that's aggravating. Maybe it was here. These are my two favorite websites. Yeah, here we go. What'd you say? 6Z? Yeah, so 6Z. We will take a look. Yeah, really past this point, it's not very reliable, but you can see that a lot of them pull it this way. The mean is obviously the black line, and a lot of them pull it north of there. Yeah, a lot of these keep it weaker, though. That's something to take note of. So it would try to pull through there. I think the only problem I really have with that is we have really unfavorable conditions throughout this region. If it took this track, I can't really say what would happen. It might become favorable through here, though. as time goes on. Hello from South Carolina. What's going on, man? Yeah, let's see what the 12 is. The 12Z out yet? Probably not. Let's see where the 12Z took it. Sorry if I say or a lot. I just when I'm doing live streams, it's harder for me to pay attention to what I'm trying to say, just because I'm looking for other stuff. Okay, so this was the 30th, so that was yesterday. That was yesterday. Okay, so this is the most likely track, like I said, according to NOAA. Here's our visible satellite. Let's refresh this though. Let's refresh this, see if anything else is going on. As it lags a little bit. Yeah, you can see it's still filling in. I don't think anything changed there. So the models pull it north. This one always is a straight line showing you what direction it's going in. I don't want anybody to think that's a model that is actually to be taken seriously. There's going to be lots of hurricanes in the next month. Well, yeah, probably. Will you be making a winter forecast prediction? I already have made a winter forecast. If you want to go check it out on my channel, I will be making an update probably within the next 15 days. Not a lot will change though, but I will be kind of going into other things. It's taking longer to organize and named, probably why it's further west than expected. Yeah, because it's still moving along. It's just not developing, and it really does have limited time to develop. We will discuss this a little bit. I did briefly look at stuff before I started the video. You can see again, here's where the winds will pull it. So here's some things that are going against it. So we have this dry air, and you can see this is where the storm is. In this area, this is where we have all of that developing thunderstorms and everything. Now this is going to kind of, well, let's see. It's going to push straight this way, and there's not too much dry air, but once it tries to go north past 40 west or right around 40 west, it's going to hit this dry air immediately, and that's going to be kind of the end of it, most likely. And that's usually how things would typically go. So that'll most likely be where things get halted. Also, wind shear. You can see 40 west. As soon as it goes north, we got pretty strong wind shear here, unfavorable wind shear heading in the easterly direction, which isn't good either, because the storm will obviously be heading west while the winds are pushing east. It's just going to tear the top right off of it. I've seen it so many times. Here's according to model guidance, here's the intensity that they think it'll get to. You can see pretty much in agreement that there will be a tropical storm. Now, I think since 6Z, this has probably gone to where they think it's going to be a little bit later, but you can see by 24 hours, more than half think that it will be a tropical storm, and by 36, we pretty much almost all agree that it will be a tropical storm, and a lot of them pull it pretty strong into the tropical storm spectrum. Some even take it to hurricane. I just don't think it'll have the time, but we will see for sure. We will see for sure. 29 viewers. It's awesome. So I wanted to get a little bit into, let me check on this real quick, make sure everything's going great. There you go. Whoa, that's cool. Okay, so if you guys have any other questions, I can look into other stuff as well while we're just chilling here looking at weather stuff. See, the GFS is trying to update. If any of you guys if you look at the European model, it is a couple more storms forming for Africa. Yeah. I think Florida getting a storm in the next 30 days. I'm trying to think here. I don't really think that again, it's a below average chance of them getting a storm. I think that if they do, it's from the Gulf, most likely. I think that it would develop. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe something develops off the coast and tries to hit. I don't see like a Cat 5 or Cat 4 hitting or anything. So I think this will be one of those years like everything before last year. Everything before last year and like, what was it, like 2004? I think it'll be a lot like that where they don't really get much for Florida. But yeah. Major hurricane to hit the East Coast within the next month. Yeah, I think Gulf states are really at risk this month. I can show you guys the average through this website. We can take a look here. In September, you can see this is what I was trying to talk about too with Florida. I'll show you guys in a second. So this, I think that this orange area will be the main development area for this month, this year. I think that this one will be slightly below average to below average just because this track from here will most likely hit dry air and also shear before it can even get through. There's a lot of unfavorable shear in these areas right now. So as far as I think through the 10th, I don't think we will see anything major go through this area. Now, obviously, hurricanes are extremely hard to predict, especially in that fashion, as far as like saying like for the next 10 days, I don't think this will happen. It's almost impossible, but I just through that time period, it doesn't look very favorable, but hurricanes are resilient and they really can do the impossible sometimes, it feels like. So no promises there. The GFS 6Z model shows the storm hooking in the direction of New York. Yeah, I saw that earlier. It's really strange. We're going to keep live streaming through the 12Z GFS coming through, by the way, because that's always fun. Just know that the Gulf Coast states are in for lots of water next week. Yeah. I did want to talk about that too. I know I'm asking a lot of questions. Sorry, LOL. Do you think a hurricane will hit the East Coast by New York City? I really don't. I think that the only chance this year, well, first off, October is a lot more likely for that type of thing. Like if you're talking about something like Sandy, October is when they like to hook back into the East Coast because of troughing. There's a trough in the East Coast that could pull it in. That's your best chance. Let's see if this works, actually. I'll try to draw something for you guys to kind of describe this. I'll use this. Tell me if this freezes up, by the way. This might actually just like pause everything that's going on right now. So in September, you see a lot of things that, well, let me get this a lot bigger here. Okay. So in September, you see probably north of that. You see a lot of this. You also see a lot of this. Something like that with a high pressure system right here. So that would be a most likely track. And you see when a high pressure system, the winds pull it back north because obviously we're going in a clockwise wind pattern with a high pressure system. So it would pull it back away. Now, when you get to October, it's a lot more likely that there will be a trough, and I'll do that in a blue here just to show you guys. It would be a lot more likely that you could see a trough, something like this somehow. This is what happened with Sandy too, kind of, I believe. I wasn't very into weather during Sandy. I was very young, so I'm trying to recall. But I think the setup was something like this. And then it kind of merged with this and got pulled in like this, and then kind of like, chilled in that area for a little bit, weakened very quickly. And then there was also, I believe there was snow for a lot of Pennsylvania and New York. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe that areas south of that south of that trough, because obviously we have this inverted trough. So these areas, New England was, above freezing because the trough was inverted. But a lot of areas in here, I believe, got snow from it. So again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was kind of the sandy setup. And that's a lot more likely in October. Like I said, you don't usually get troughs that are that deep in September. It's just too warm. So a lot of times hurricanes just do follow the high pressure system that would be on the Atlantic Ocean. Hope that made sense. Oh goodness, I wanted to delete that. Okay. Okay. There we go. Hope that made sense. I know I was kind of rambling a little bit. I broke PicPic. That's a good program, by the way, if you do videos. Just wanted to point that out. I know a lot of people know about it, but if you don't. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Got a lot of comments coming in. I think it's just trying to catch up here. Okay. No, and you're not asking too many questions. I enjoy answering questions, so don't worry about that. I prefer tracking major winter storms, not hurricanes. I do as well. I enjoy all of it, but definitely winter storms is so fun because you're just forecasting where the most snow will be and stuff. Like hurricanes. You can't really. It's kind of just morally wrong to enjoy tracking a hurricane to hit somewhere. Like I just feel bad about it. Like somebody's gonna get hit. People are gonna die. You know what I mean? Winter storms, you're not looking as much of life-threatening stuff. It still is life-threatening, but not quite as much. So I can feel better about enjoying a winter storm or a blizzard and being happy about the intensity of it. Hurricane, not so much. I feel the same way about hurricanes too. I mean, tornadoes as well. Enjoying your channel, doing a good job. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. This month has been probably the best thing that's ever happened to this channel. Ever since the winter forecast, things have blown up. I had 300 subscribers on August 1st, and now I have, I think, 4,500. So it's just grown so much. Very happy about it. I love being able to discuss weather with you guys, and I'm excited to do live streams when we have like 28, 30 people in it, because there will be a whole discussion with you guys. Like I used to get like 2 to 5 viewers, and there would be the occasional commenter, but I think we'll have a lot more active, especially during the winter. It'll be very fun to do model updates, looking at the 12Z and 0Z coming in, mostly 18Z and 0Z because I work now, but that'll be fun. 4 feet of water in it. Yeah. So you will probably be very happy to know that that doesn't happen a lot. Do you think that the east coast of Georgia will get a hurricane? Because I live in Brunswick near the Atlantic Ocean, and I was wondering if we'd get another one. Yeah. So I think that it's possible. I'm not going to draw again because that was just confusing. I think that it's possible that we'll get one come from the coast and kind of track through Florida and then scrape Georgia. I think that's a lot more possible than a direct landfall. I don't think, like I said, coming off of the Atlantic is a lot less likely than Gulf this year, in my opinion. So stuff coming off the Gulf is going to be your best bet at getting hit if you're hoping for that. If you're not hoping for that, then it's kind of not going to be good. Though it wouldn't be as big of an impact as in a direct impact. Once it tracks over Florida, it would weaken significantly. Probably a category or two, depending on how strong it is. So Sandy happened because of a negative NAO. Yeah, because then the negative NAO is what caused the troughing. And the Greenland blocking is what caused the inversion of the trough in New England. This storm had combined with cold front and it had snowed. Yeah. Sandy has blizzards up in the Smokies also. Yeah, I remember it being like down through West Virginia and then maybe through Tennessee and North Carolina, the mountains there. It's just insane for October. That's the kind of stuff that just like hypes me up about weather is, things that are like anomalies. Like it's so strange that even happened. Most of the snow was in West Virginia from Sandy. Yeah. Let's pull it up. We'll do snowfall from. is. Doing too much talking about it. We need to just look and see for ourselves. Oh yeah. Yeah, I was wrong. Yeah. That's interesting. That's so cool. Yeah, it was all the way in 2012. I was 12 in 2012, so what was that? Yeah, that was it. Man, 24 inches of snow. Yeah, and down through North Carolina, almost touching Georgia. That is insane. That was a strong negative NAO as well. Must have been. I live in Southeast Virginia, so I wasn't even like involved in this, but it's so cool. Through Ohio, through the plains of Ohio too. Interesting. Yeah, this is like snowshoeing stuff. My dad always talks about that place so much. It snows like crazy because of the elevation and everything. But 24 inches, that's insane. I thought it was like 6 to 12, not 24 inches plus. That's insane. But yeah, definitely not up here. I guess that was probably too close to the inversion of the trough. Probably down here was a lot colder because it was more towards the core, I guess you could say. It's getting so laggy right now. Most of the snow is in. We usually go to the Gulf for vacation in October. It makes it so hard to plan ahead. Yeah, because you just never know. It could happen at any point. A big hit, and you don't want to be there, obviously, for that. They had called Sandy a perfect storm. Yeah, perfect or imperfect, if you guess you could say that too. You got my subscribe. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Welcome to the family. I would love for this to be like a place where just like weather enthusiasts could just come and meet up for live streams. That'd be so cool. Like if we could just all have like in the little chat box, just like be talking all the time. Because I've just always wanted to have somebody I could talk to weather about, and just being able to like communicate with you guys is so fun. Just because, sometimes just like looking at weather and not even talking isn't fun. I mean, it is fun and interesting, but like you can get bored of it. Like you can really see my passion spill out when I'm talking to you guys. You can hear it. The tornado tourists are struggling to stay in business this year. We need to help them. Yeah. Next week, Gulf threat is our big rainmaker, but interested to keep an eye on. Yeah. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Also, I want to talk about this FV3 GFS. I heard nailed the Hurricane Lane, the one that was maybe going to hit Hawaii. I never really thought it would. Some people hyped it up a lot. I never really thought it did. I didn't even feel the need to really make a video. I probably should have at this point now that I think about it, but maybe next time. Next time a hurricane might hit Hawaii in like 10 years. Watch it be like a couple weeks. That'd be so crazy. But yeah, this model's been doing really good. I'm really happy that the GFS is going to get an upgrade because the Euro is so hard to get access to. So the GFS gets a big time upgrade. People always fight about like the Euro or the GFS, which one's the better one. Now that the GFS is getting an upgrade, we'll see what happens. We'll see what's popping for sure. But what I wanted to talk about originally was this area. If I can even, okay. I have so many things. This area right here, through the next 5 days, there's a 10%, but it's not looking as much like it's going to be a tropical storm, but we're going to have just tons of precipitation in this area, just a pipeline of precipitation hitting the Gulf. Also, speaking of pipeline, Wisconsin is getting so much rain. Wisconsin and Minnesota, if you guys are from there, that's crazy. Y'all are getting so much rain. I feel like I'm the only one who cares. I'm the only one in my town who loves weather, LOL. My wife can care less. Yeah, that's how it goes usually. When I have girlfriends, I never even talk to them about it because I know they're just going to think it's so dumb. They get mad when I care about weather more than them. I am the same way. I love to talk about weather as well. I am more into talking about hurricanes, tsunamis, tornadoes. Keep up the great work you're doing on your channel. Thank you so much for the kind words. Yeah, I'm very excited about the channel and everything, like I said. Speaking about that previous comment, actually, I feel like I felt like nobody cared about weather in my town either. But yesterday, I found out that my neighbor is actually like a huge weather nerd like me, and we both like didn't talk about it. He's like obviously he's like actually like 50, and I'm 18, but you know, unlikeliest of friends, I guess you could say. We've been good neighbors to each other. I help him out, he helps me out, that type of thing. But we never discussed it really. So that's the funny thing. His wife was actually talking to me yesterday and let me know that he's like wanted to be a meteorologist and he's checking the models all the time, just like I do, which is super funny. So you never know who likes weather because we don't really talk about it with people that much sometimes. I'm in West Tennessee. When do you think we'll get a break in the heat? I think West Tennessee. Let me see. I think that September overall for that area is gonna. I can pull up. Uh, I'll pull up my September forecast real quick. Sorry for the silence. I just realized I hadn't talked in like a whole minute. Okay. So you can see my temperature forecast. I think that I really feel like we're gonna have above average temperatures in this area through the month overall, especially early on because we're already in that pattern right now. But I think that overall through September, we're gonna still have heat in the east, if you know what I mean. I think this area is really gonna cool down significantly. It's really been Washington and Oregon that's been getting a lot of the cold temperatures, but I think that that's really gonna set in through the central United States more. Just wanted to. I don't even know why I had to pull that up to say that, but I felt the need. Yeah, big tornadoes. It hasn't been a big tornado year this year either, so it's not really. It's not really the year for that anyway. Uh, I think I did do a video on the. I was really proud of the forecast that I made for the. Let me pull something up again. Happens every time. Which one was it? Oh, it's gonna be in this. It's gonna be in this. Yeah, I made this forecast like I think 2 days before the snow. Ended up doing really well. Really well. 3 inches. I probably could have done 6 to 10 for the mountains, but besides that, I really did. This is what really was this more surprising forecast. It did really well. And I called this before anybody was even talking about it. So I was really proud of myself for that one, actually. I made this video. You can go check out the video, but it was quite a while back. I don't like seeing the heat dome in the east. It has been humid all summer. I hate it. Yeah, like I guess that's really where you prove. Well, I guess I'm a part of a Facebook group called Association of Weather Enthusiasts. We call people who forecast the weather that they want weather weenies. We call them weenies. So, so I that's really when I prove that I'm not a weenie. That I'm calling for for warm in the east because I really would love for it to be cold and cool down. I love the fall, and usually like ever since I was a kid, because I always preferred cold temperatures and snow. That's my favorite, type of weather. The more you know, but I was always so excited during August for fall, and I just couldn't wait. So I was always hoping that it would be a cold September. So I prove that I'm not a wish caster every time that I call for warm temperatures in the east. Just remember that. Yeah, true weenies, exactly. Weather weenies. But we should make a Facebook group, by the way. Like my subscribers, that'd be so sick. Just like a weather discussion Facebook group. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Like direct weather Facebook group. Let me know if you guys would be interested in something like that. That'd be fun. What was I going to say? Anyway, I was really proud of that forecast. Joe Bastardi had a rather interesting point regarding South America. This is one of the only 2 years had below average temperatures there, with the years being 1969, 1970, and 1977 to 78. When that happened, the northeast section of the U.S. had two of the worst blockbuster storms in history. That's an interesting point that I didn't think about. Um, it's interesting when you find like correlations like that. Like you find something that happened and then it resulted in something else. That's this type of thing that people don't really understand about weather, is that there is a direct relationship between the whole Earth. The whole Earth. It's very fun and interesting. But yeah, the 70s just alone, anytime you hear a 70s, it was a cold winter in the East as far as analogs go. Every single one of them was just, frigid in the East and blockbuster storms. So that'd be interesting. It's been, I don't think last winter did we really have like a giant snowstorm. I feel like we had a few big ones, especially for areas that don't usually get them, but nothing like the years before when we had the one winter storm. I remember the one that gave Northwest Virginia, like Winchester area, and the south central portion of Pennsylvania, like tons of snow. I actually chased that one. It was maybe 2 or 3 winters ago, but yeah, I think I got like 50 inches of snow when I chased that one. Me and my dad. It was like the time of my life. I should have been doing YouTube videos then. That would have been so cool. But I wish that we'd get blockbuster storms this year. Definitely possible. I think New England could get a big one, kind of like they did in 2014 to 2015. I don't have Facebook. You should get Facebook. It's very useful, I guess you could say. I'm a big winter weather fan. Me as well. I do just love winter weather, which is just so unfortunate that I lived in the Southeast. I really want to move to New England one day. I'm from Alabama. Last year was a great year for me with 2 snowstorms and 1 small one. Yeah, you guys had the snowstorm in like December, I believe, right? And then like one in like January 1st. That's the one that gave me quite a bit of snow as well. I think I got 14 inches of snow then, which was like the biggest snowstorm I've ever had at my house. 2009 and 2010 was good for the Mid-Atlantic. Yeah, both of those winters, 2009 to 2010 and 2010 to 2011. 2009 to 2010 was kind of like Maryland and Pennsylvania special and Northern Virginia. I got a little bit of snow that winter, so areas south of there didn't really do too good. But 2010 to 2011, with that Christmas blizzard, that really just made the whole winter really, really good with just that blizzard, it was so weird. It was a nor'easter, and I'm pretty sure we were in a La Nina, so a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, everywhere, like Savannah, Georgia. I couldn't believe it. I remember I was working that day and looking at like live streams on, I guess, like, what's like, it was like live streams that were like security cameras or whatever in Savannah, Georgia, and it was just like a blizzard, and I couldn't wait because I knew that it was coming to me. That was an awesome storm. I hope we get something like that again. Yeah, December 8th and January 8th. Yeah, the January 8th one was the one that gave me a lot of snow as well. Remember 2011. Yeah, I live in Minnesota, and we had an April snowstorm last spring. Yeah, areas in the west and central United States really can get in those spring storms. It's so cold there, really in the middle of the winter, you don't get much. It's really in the beginning and the end that you get the most. We don't get much snow where I live. It was like a freak accident. Yeah. Well, weather's a lot of just freak accidents put together, but a lot of them aren't that freaky. That's the thing. Like, that's what makes me love weather. My entire life, I've noticed that I like things that are always different, but there will never be a storm that's the same as the next one. And if you think about that, it really just, makes me so passionate and interested in weather. Every time I think about that, it hypes me up. Every storm is different. Heck, every snowflake is different. So we don't get okay. NYC, we had a blizzard last year, and I don't know. And I know some parts of New Jersey and Long Island had 3 to 4 feet of snow last year in a blizzard. Wow. Better chance of ice storms, it seems. Yeah, for sure. Snow in Georgia is rare. Yeah. Only areas south or north of Atlanta usually get snow. Northwest, I should say. Because obviously northeastern Georgia doesn't really, but extreme northwestern does because it's mountainous. Remember 2011? Yeah, we got 4 inches of snow this past January in Southeast Texas. Very unusual for us. Oh yeah, Houston got a ton of snow. I remember that. That was December, huh? Yeah, I remember I was like Texas A and or one of the football teams. They posted on their Twitter like a video with all the lights on in the stadium. I'm trying to think. I want to see if I could pull that video up. It was so sick. Hold on. I think it was Texas A&M. Let's see if that gets any results. Yeah. Here it is. I think this is it. Oh, 2006. That is not it. I got to go in a second, guys, but because we have guests coming over. But I'm trying to do this as long as possible because I'm having such a good time. Thank you guys for making my day better, by the way. I was having a pretty bad day yesterday. I don't know what was up with me. I had a headache all day and I had to work all day, but today's a good day. Had the day off. So I'm kind of getting more hyped up about life right now and weather. Yeah, December 8th. Is this Texas A&M? Kyle Field? I don't know. I don't know my colleges like that, but oh, this is pretty low res, but there's the video you guys can see. It was just like unusual. I was so hyped up when I saw that. I was like, man, some kids there are so happy they've never seen snow before, probably. Anyway, let's read more comments. We got very hot and humid. Hopefully this winter will produce an El Nino Mordecai for my backyard. I'm real greedy. LOL. Yeah. Hopefully. I think it will happen. Not like a true Mordecai where there's actually cold temperatures right off the coast, but it won't be an east base for sure. We had hot summers in 2010, 2011, 2012. Yeah, a lot of times hot summers tend to be cold winters. That's a correlation that I've always looked into. Also, a lot of times warm falls in the east will be cold winters. So a lot of people want both. It usually doesn't happen that way. I mean, usually by November it starts to get super cold, but that's only a third of the equation. You know, September and October will be warm, and then it will just flip the pattern. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. I feel the same exact way. It was hot for 3 years. Yes. Do you live in Georgia? It depends. If you're asking me, I live in Virginia. Peaches for snow this year. I'm from Buffalo. Send a Discord link to me. My town was cut in half in 2014 for snow. Like half of it had snow and half of it didn't. The Northeast has been barely humid. Bring on the fall. Unbearably. I said barely. Yeah, I was like, what in the world? It's been super humid. Unbearably humid. Bring on the fall. Although it will be delayed once again. Hope we get cold and snow this year. I'm a true New Englander. Yeah. I think you're really gonna see a pattern switch like October like 20th. I'll just try to put like a date on it. I think like October 20th, just gonna start troughing every once in a while. Obviously there'll be warm swings, but like I think the cold swings will definitely outnumber the warm ones at that point. And then November should be pretty chilly, but we'll see. A little far out to just forecast a month though. Talking about weather anomalies, about 2 years ago, we had a winter Talking about weather anomalies, about 2 years ago we had winter when on Christmas Day. I'm assuming you meant winter weather on Christmas Day. It was 70, or we had a winter when a Christmas Day it was 70 degrees in New England. Yeah, I think that was like 4 years ago because I remember Christmas Eve it was 80 degrees where I live, and I was like, what? I was like, get this out of here. I wanted to be all festive and stuff, like feel like it's Christmas, but I just couldn't. 2011 was very hot and humid for the Northeast. For 2012, We had no snow. Yeah, 2011 to 2012 was probably one of the most awful winters I've ever experienced. 2012 to 2013 was pretty disappointing, but after 2011 to 2012, 2012 to 2013 wasn't too bad. I remember I got like 2 snowstorms of like 2 inches, which is way better than nothing, like 2011 to 2012 was. One part of town had flurries and other half had 8 feet. What in the world? That is insane. Was that Buffalo? Like during the lake effect? I remember when that cut in half. Ready for the holidays. I don't have a Discord link, unfortunately. Yeah, knew it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Back to Tropics real quick, just in case you missed it. What?
I need you to put the trash cans up. They have nowhere to park.
Okay. Sorry, that was my mom. The tropical storm will probably develop in this green area and then turn north about 40 west, about right here. Then it's going to tilt north and hit the shear, and then it's going to be all over. But likely we will have a strong tropical storm by that point. Anyway, guys, I'll probably do a live stream. I'll find something to do a live stream again about in the next few days just to keep you guys active and stuff. I'll probably make a video as well. Probably make that weekly video by Sunday. You have a great day too, Mike. Thank you. Thank you. You too. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.